Hello everyone, I'm Takocos and this is part 2 of my video review series on the software TeamViewer. I'm going to go ahead and recommend that everybody go and watch part 1. There I talked about the reasons that I gave TeamViewer the score I did. I'm not a huge fan of it, so let's go ahead and get that out of the way. I'm going to tell you briefly again about my background. I'm not a programmer, I'm not someone who's good with computers, I'm just an end user. So I'm going to be talking about it from the user end rather than as some of the reviews I've seen of software that actually go into how the software works. That's not what I'll be doing. I'm just going to be talking about how it works from just a normal user that just downloaded it. Now, in my last video, I talked about how I disliked it because of the complete lack of security that I feel the software has, and that a lot of people feel the software has. People have had money stolen from them, they've had identity theft happen to them. It's just not a secure program, and it's not one that I would recommend. And I'm going to put links in the description from other people that have had these problems. I think there's lawsuits that have been brought against TeamViewer for these issues. But that was just things that a stranger could do that I described in my last video. Today, I'm going to be talking about how if someone that you know, that you are familiar with, got into TeamViewer, what they could do because of them actually having a vendetta against you. Now, I think the best way to do that would probably be to just give an example scenario and then go from there, because my brain functions better with individual examples. But anything I tell you can be extrapolated to any number of situations. So let's say that I am... Let me think of a good example. Okay, let's say, because I think we've all been through a breakup before. As a woman, you can probably tell that I am female from my voice. I tend to date a lot of men, or not a lot, but I tend to date men, and I know that there are a lot of stories on the internet that's like, my crazy ex-boyfriend did this, did that, but crazy, and I'm using crazy as colloquially, not to really mean someone that has a, neurodivergent issue or some kind of mental issue. I'm just talking about people that are vindictive and who do unpredictable things, and that's a pretty common reaction after a breakup. But the media kind of tries to paint it like it's more of a masculine thing to do that there are more quote-unquote crazy ex-boyfriends than there are quote-unquote crazy ex-girlfriends. But it's not actually gender. There are a lot of guys out there who have a lot of crazy ex-girlfriend stories. So, for this scenario, just to avoid sounding sexist, I will paint myself as the crazy ex-girlfriend who is angry at her boyfriend, ex-boyfriend. So let's say that I lived with a guy, I thought we had a good relationship, we lived together for 2 or 3 years. We're doing the thing that I talked about in my last video where people will set up TeamViewer to access files on other computers, other devices in their own home, so that they can maybe project them onto a TV. You can watch my other video to learn how to do that. It's extremely easy. And let's say I went to work one day, I was going to come home and hang out with my man, we were going to watch some of the videos that we had on our TeamViewer, using TeamViewer onto the TV. We were just going to chill and, relax and get ready for our day tomorrow. But I walk in the door and I notice that he is there with another woman. I catch him in the throngs of passion with another woman. I'm understandably angry about this, as I would be. And again, this is a hypothetical, this has never happened to me, but it's a thing that happens to people. So, I'm angry. I tell him where he can stick his, relationship and affection and whatnot, and I gather my things and I leave in a fit of rage. And I leave him there with his new woman, who, in this scenario, I guess we're going to assume just found out he has a girlfriend and is also angry, as I assume that you would be if that happened to you, if you went out with a guy and then his girlfriend came home. So that's the scenario we're going to go through to show you how you could completely ruin someone's life only using TeamViewer. Now, let's say after this happened to me, I'm in a fit of rage, as is understandable. And I went to, like, my mom's house or a friend's house. We'll just say my mom's house because I I think that's a culturally accepted thing to do. So I go to my mom's and I'm real mad and I go to my, I guess, childhood room or whatever, and I'm sitting there and I'm stewing in this anger. I'm like, I can't believe he did this to me. I gave him the best however many years of my life and he's going to treat me like this. And I'm sitting, I brought, just a basic stuff with me, my phone, my charger, my computer, just whatever I grabbed to get out of that house and away from him and his actions that have caused me this rage. And I pull my computer out and I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'll watch some YouTube videos, try to calm down, maybe I'll talk to some of my friends. And then I remember, because I see the icon, that I have TeamViewer. And I can get into his computer. And because TeamViewer automatically remembers the IDs and passwords of any computer that you've entered into it, I just hit this little arrow and I find the partner ID for his computer. Then I hit connect. And I wait to connect to his computer. While I'm doing this, in this scenario, he's probably fighting with this new girl that he has brought in, and isn't at all concerned with his computer. It saved the password, so I just hit log on. Um, he's also in a very emotional state. He's probably trying to rectify this new relationship. Maybe they even, like, are out in the yard screaming. Lord only knows. I'm from Appalachia. Like, I've seen people do something. Not that that's an Appalachian thing, but rednecks are not known for their ability to control their temper, is what I'm saying. Uh, so he's in the middle of that fight, and I'm on his computer in a rage. And so I'm just looking around, and I'm like, you know what? Adobe Premiere costs hundreds of dollars. He probably don't need that. I'm probably just going to go ahead and delete that off his machine. So I go down here and I type in add remove programs, and I click it and it comes up, and I just decide to start deleting things because I'm angry. And I go ahead and I delete anything I think he might like. And this is my in the real world, not in this scenario, this is my laptop that I'm remote controlling. So this is just like a normal person's laptop. This is just stuff that I didn't prepare it in any way for this video. This is just what my desktop looks like. I keep a lot of icons on there. But let's say I'm angry and I say he doesn't need to play video games. He doesn't need Sims. He doesn't need any kind of emulators. He doesn't need any of the stuff that I know he enjoys or that he needs for work, like Adobe Premiere, or that was particularly expensive, like any Adobe product. And he doesn't need his videos that his uncle has bought him. He doesn't need any of this stuff. He doesn't need his 3DS saved games that are backed up. And so I just delete them. And then maybe I'm even more vindictive than that, and I say he doesn't need his documents that he needs for work, and I delete those. Maybe I say he doesn't need the files that he's got stored on his cloud drive, and I delete those. My point is, I can destroy anything that he has had, clear the recycle bin, and it is just gone forever. It's just he doesn't have it anymore. Again, this is just my normal desktop. So, in my rage, maybe I then decide that he doesn't need his money. So I go to Amazon.com. Let's pull up a new window so I don't have to keep looking at stuff. I had this up in my previous video. I'm not a pirate. So let's say that I go to Amazon.com that he is logged into because this is his computer. And a lot of people, when they go to a store or just any kind of website, it'll pop up and say, do you want to save this username and password so you don't have to constantly remember it? And normally they'll say yes, because they don't want to constantly remember it. Like, I'm signed in to Google right now. I signed in. I don't re-sign in every time I get on the internet. And I'm pretty good with security, and I do that. So I know that a lot of people do that. So he's probably logged into his Amazon. So I just start buying stuff. Just expensive stuff. I start buying game consoles and computers and tablets and just anything I can think of that's going to cost him a lot of money. I'm going to overdraft his bank account because I hate that cheating sumbitch. So I do that. Then I think, even if, because I'll get it overnight too. I'll pay extra because it ain't my money. What do I care? So Now he's out all that money, and even if he does return all that stuff, it's going to take him days. I mean, it's going to take a big chunk out of his life. And so then I think, I wonder if he's been talking to that bitch. And I go over to his email and I go through it, and I realize that he's got an address book of people that I could contact now that I'm in his account and say whatever the hell I want, and it's going to look like it came from him. So I'm going to email his boss and send a resignation letter. I'm going to email his mom and tell her that I always hated her as her son, that I never wanted to be a part of that family, that I never want to talk to her again, and cause him a lot of strife with his family. I'm going to find his female friends on his contacts, and I'm going to send every one of them a flirty letter. I'm going to completely destroy his personal life because there's nothing stopping me. I have TeamViewer. I have his computer. I'm going to go to his Google Docs and delete everything that he had for work. I'm going to delete every document he has. These are IRS tabs. I was doing my taxes. I can go to the IRS and commit tax fraud. I can just tell them whatever I want because they have free auto filing on their website. So I can do that. If I'm logged into his account, I can totally do that. I can go to his YouTube and upload whatever I want. So if he had a YouTube account and that was how he made his money, he will get the strikes against him and they'll take his account down and he'll lose his livelihood. My point is that I can do anything I want and there is nothing stopping me because I have this one program, TeamViewer, installed. And that's not okay. That is not okay for the TeamViewer people to have. I could, like I said in my last video, I could go to Pirate Bay and just download literally any kind of illegal content or any other torrent site, Kick-Ass Torrents or anything like that. And I could download any of the stuff that comes up just by clicking on the link when I hit Browse Torrents. And I could download that illegal content, and then, in my rage, I could call the police. And I could say, I've been in a relationship with this guy for 3 years, and I was so scared of him that I didn't want to say anything, but I finally left, and I'm at my mom's, and I know for a fact that he was downloading illegal stuff, and you should go arrest him. I would have told you something earlier, but I was just so scared. And the cops will do that. They'll go arrest him. They'll go arrest him for the illegal movies or music videos or music or audiobooks or video games or pornography or applications or any of this stuff that you have just downloaded on his computer. And if he's still at his house in the middle of a fight while you're doing this, he'll be the one at home. And they will have no way to know that you did it via TeamViewer because TeamViewer does not keep logs of access information as far as I know. Again, I am a user and not a programmer, so I couldn't say what is and is not in the metadata. But if I fool around with the program, I can't find a log that tells me what computers I've accessed as a user. I don't know that the police would look very far into it when he's like, no, I don't know how that got on my computer, because I don't think that a lot of people, when they get caught, just say, I don't know how they, I think that that's a pretty common, sorry, I swallowed a piece of candy and it's caught in my throat. But I think it's not very likely that you would get caught for doing this. I really don't. I think that they would be more inclined, and especially in the United States, if you look it up, crime statistics, men tend to get harsher sentences and tend not to be believed as frequently as women who say that they're innocent. So that's just a thing that would go against him. It's just, it's a demographics issue, and that shouldn't be the case, but it is. Like when you look it up statistically, there is a gendered bias in arrests and sentencing as well. Women tend to get lighter sentences. But that's a whole other rant. I'm just trying to show you how you could ruin somebody's life. Let's see what else we could do. Just looking around. And again, this is just my desktop. And that's just my browser. You know, I didn't do anything special for this. That's why it's got stuff up like Sims 4, how to garden, and stuff like that. Because this is just what that computer looks like right now. My Etsy store. And like I said, I'm doing taxes right now, so that's fun. Let's see. What else could we do to completely destroy someone? Oh, you know what we could do? Okay, if this was a long-term relationship, those of us who grew up in the computer age and who have been in long-term relationships, I'm trying to think of a way to say this where YouTube won't take it down. I'm just gonna say I'm just gonna come out and say it. Let's not pretend like sexting isn't a thing, okay? Because it is. We all know it is. We've probably a lot of us have done it. It's not our proudest moment, but also revenge porn is a thing. And I'm not going to show this on YouTube because you're not allowed. And if you don't know what these terms are, please don't tell your parents that you learned it here, and please don't watch this segment of the video if you are too young and innocent to know what that is, because I'm going to get pretty dark with it. But this is a thing that happens pretty frequently, and that's why the term revenge porn is a thing. And what will happen is, now that I'm in here and I have access to all of his folders, if I was in this relationship and he was making this for me, then let's say that this Let's Play folder where I keep my Let's Plays, let's pretend like this is instead the let's say adult folder, where he keeps the videos and the pictures that he's made for me during the relationship, and maybe for this new bitch too in this scenario, because this ain't even a real thing and I'm still mad about that. So let's say I go in here because I'm angry, and let's say that this video of me playing through Spice World is instead, in this hypothetical, a video of my cheating ex in a compromising sexual position, okay? Let's just pretend that that's the way that is. Now, I have access to it because I'm on his computer. So I could go to any website and I could upload that video. And this is a thing that happens really frequently. And if you do this, you're a horrible person. I'm definitely saying that you shouldn't do this. But the world we live in is such that it is a common thing. So you could take this video, hell, you could have uploaded that to his YouTube. He will never get a YouTube channel back if you were to do something like that. It would destroy his credibility for the rest of his life. It would probably land him in jail because that's a public forum that like little kids can get on. YouTube is not age restricted. But yeah, you could do that. You could take these videos without his consent and post them literally anywhere. You could send them through his like Facebook Messenger or through his like I got Skype down there. You can send them through Skype. Oh, something else you could do. I've got Minicam on here because, as you saw, I have Let's Plays that I stream, and that's again a pretty common like program that people have. If you didn't know this, I hate to be the one to burst your bubble, but it's pretty uncommon that a live stream is actually live. What people will do is they will pre-record their gameplay. Like, this is all pre-recorded video of Spice World, which is a PS1 game, which it's going to be on my channel. You guys will see this come up later. God, I got candy in my throat. But you guys will see this on my channel later. But what they will do instead is Minicam is a virtual webcam. Your computer recognizes it as a webcam. So people will pre-record video, and then they will open Minicam, hit this, and they will go to Media Files and pick a pre-recorded video and hit Open. And that will load this pre-recorded video onto Minicam. And then you can broadcast this as if it's live to like YouTube or Twitch. I need to turn the sound off because it'll get real loud. Okay, it's already off. I thought that I had the volume off on this remote computer. Let's make sure I do. Because this is a music-based video game, so it's very, very loud. Okay, so as you can see, this is a video that's playing. Now, pretend that instead of this being my Let's Play of this game that I'm pretending to live stream, let's pretend that it is, as I said before, I'll say compromising video of my cheating ex. And now we have it to where we can make it look like it's live streaming. So we could log into, I don't watch a lot of pornography, so I'm not sure what the sites are called. There are sites, if you don't know, called cam, like camera sites, where actors in the adult film industry and amateurs as well in the same industry will perform live shows for a live audience. And I think that much like live streaming, it's not frequently done live. It's very often a pre-recorded video that they then just upload and stream like this. But you could do that against his will, and that would not only be make it look like a video, that would make it look as if he was live streaming on purpose of his own free will for whatever reason. And then you could send the, live stream link to, again, people like his employer and be like, "Hey, did you know that you were employing someone who does pornography?" Because a lot of jobs will not let you do that in the U.S. I know teaching is definitely one of them that would you absolutely could not do that. Politics is very difficult to do that. That kind of work. It's the kind of thing that could really damage someone's professional life and their personal life. Like you could send again that link to his mom. Um, you could get on a messenger like Skype here, and you could go look at his contact list, and you could set up the Skype cam or whatever messenger you use, Windows. I don't think anybody uses Windows Messenger or AOL Messenger anymore. I'm old. You could go to Facebook Messenger, but go to options. I'm going to take a drink. I'm like choking on this candy. Have a pop. Tools. Options. And then you can go to the camera settings. This actually might already be set to minicam. Yep. You can click here, and you can choose to either do your computer webcam or do minicam or whatever virtual webcam that you have set up. I just happen to have minicam on my machine because that's what I use. I actually really like minicam. It does what it's supposed to do. And then, hit save. And then you're able to call anyone on his list and make it look as if you are live with this video. So if this, again, pretend that this is a video of him in a compromising position. I could go to any of his female friends and I could send this, or this is actually my mom in real life. So this could be his mom in our scenario, because a lot of people do have their parents as contacts. So what if I was to go to his mom and I was to send a video chat? Because again, this is streaming as if it's live. And remember, in our scenario, this is him in a adult situation. Now I could send this to his mother and make it seem like this is a video that he's streaming live. I guess she's probably asleep. It's 12:40 a.m. Send her a video message. She's gonna be so confused. Come on. I live in a very rural area, and my internet is not particularly good. I think I've got like 3 megabits or something. That's fine. Let's try to call her again. I probably should not record at like 12:40 a.m., but I have a house full of people, and if I try to do it during the day, it is inevitable that someone will walk in on me. I don't know why. I can be like, "Hey, I'm going to record for a little bit," and still people will walk in on me. It's very annoying. But I realize that most human people don't don't keep my hours. Oh, did she actually answer that? I don't think that she answered that. Oh, yeah, she did. That's my mom, everyone. and then we can pull it up like this, you know, with the chat box, and it'll look like this is a live video, and this is them responding. This is a live video of my mom. She don't use minicam. I'm gonna tell her what's going on. Hey Mom, I'm recording a video. It's a software review. Do me a favor and answer some questions for me. That's my brother also sticking his head in at the side over there. I probably should tell people before I put them on the internet. I don't want to be one of the people I was talking about. Pretend that this video of me, don't know where to type on the computer screen, of me playing video games is actually a video of someone in a compromising adult situation. If you were their, let's say, employer, if you were their employer and you got a Skype call of one of your employees in a adult video, comma, what would you do? And this is just, again, my mom's not a computer person either. She's just like a normal person. She's such a mom. Like, I wrote Skyke, had a typo. Let's see what she says back. I'm going to say that most human people would say that I would fire them. Yep, fire them. Thanks. Let's say, because I said again that you could get someone's parents. What would you do if it was your son? My mom has no idea what I'm talking about. I keep making typos. This keyboard's not great. And also I'm pretty sleepy because it is 12:44 a.m. But you could send any message. Like, say I put the adult video up and then I typed in a sexually explicit message to go with it. Like, yeah. Oh my god. That's classic my mom, guys. That's how she is. Oh my god. That's fair though. That's fair. That's great. I'm just, thanks, Mom. I'll tell you why I asked this later. My mom's gonna call and be like, "What the hell are you doing? Why are you on that? What?" She's like, I should have planned this out better, but it is what it is. Let's see. We have fun here. I'm making a video. I'm glad I have this muted because I feel like she's probably not happy right now for YouTube. It's a long story. It's not actually a long story, but I don't want to sit here and type to my mom on this whole video. My point in doing this was that you could very easily ruin someone's... I'm gonna get off of this chat with my mom. I'm going to go I'll talk to you later. Um, so let's go away now. So that's great. I've traumatized my mother for this video, so I hope I get some likes and shares because that's fun. My point is, you could send something like that if he had it on his computer to his mom and get his ass busted, I guess. I think that is probably, I thought she was going to say like send him to therapy or something, but that's a fair response. That's good enough for him probably. If that was I mean if they would believe it, they'd have no reason not to. So that's fun, and I really want to get off Skype because she's looking at me like she's gonna. Well, she's not looking at me. She's looking at this video. She can't see me through the webcam, and that's good. She can't hear me either because my mic is plugged into this computer, and I'm streaming from the laptop. So she can't see me. She has no idea what I'm doing right now. So that's great. But I didn't mean to do that. Let's reconnect. I got real. I just wanted to get rid of my mom. Okay. My point is, I got tickled, but it's a very serious situation that it would be very, very easy to ruin someone's life if you wanted to. It would be easy to ruin someone financially if you didn't care. But if you wanted to ruin someone's life, you could absolutely destroy them. um, it wouldn't even have to be like their mom or their employer. That list there, my little brother that you saw come on screen is actually underage. I could have sent that video to him instead of mom, who was an adult. And if that was the case, then the guy, the cheating ex in this scenario, he'd be in jail for the rest of his life. You can't send stuff like that to minors. That's sickening to even think about. But it's a thing that you could do. I'm just telling you stuff that could be done with this program. So, I mean, you could type in, like I was typing there to let her know that it was a video. If I was trying to fool somebody into thinking I was this guy and I had the computer muted like I do now, you could type in, sexually explicit messages to whoever you were talking to. So if you had gotten into, like I said, like a female coworker, or like a boss, like his employer, or like a child even, you could say whatever you wanted. You could stream this video, and TeamViewer doesn't keep a log of the fact that you did that. So those people would have no idea at all that it was not just him with a live stream doing this stuff. So I think I've covered just about everything I had that I wanted to say about how you could. Oh, and again, you could do that, and you can see that I'm recording it with a screen capture program. So, I mean, you could ruin someone's life. You could put them in jail over that kind of thing, over indecent exposure, over piracy. Like I said, you could download anything you wanted to. You could take every cent they had, like I was talking about on Amazon, or you could even get into his bank account just like the scammers could. Like, there's nothing in the world stopping you from doing that. And that's not okay. And TeamViewer even has a thing that a lot of people who use the between houses thing called unattended access. And that means that that computer doesn't even have to have TeamViewer open on it. It could just be there. Like, that's what I've been using. So it's just, it's identity theft waiting to happen. And that's what I said in my last video too, but I just wanted to show you in this video that it's not just a financial issue. It could literally ruin your entire life. You could get put in jail, you could be bankrupted, you could have your job taken away from you, you could have your entire family turned against you, you could have all your friends turned against you. It's not worth it. And the only two reasons I've ever seen anyone use TeamViewer is because they wanted easier access to files and such they didn't have on their own computer, like this video, this Let's Play video, um, and because they wanted help with their computer. And there are better ways to do both of those things. Now, if you just want to access files, I would just say to get some cloud storage. You can back up cloud storage on a machine so that if you were in a situation like this and you had files that you didn't want to lose and you had them in your cloud, you could have that automatically backed up to your hard drive on that computer and have it stored in both places easily. And that way, if someone got into your cloud, they wouldn't be able to get the files on your machine. That's just a better way to do that. And I recommend pCloud or Google Drive. I use both, and I've not had any issues with either one of them. I've not had any. I was going to say that I've lost files, but that was my fault. I accidentally did that myself when I was first using Google Drive. You might have to pay if you go way over the storage limits, but they have pretty good storage limits on them. The other reason that people normally use TeamViewer, the one about needing help with their computer, I don't think that there's ever a reason to need to remote access someone's machine to fix it. There's just not. Usually the only kind of people who get in that situation are people who are, let's say, older, or, they didn't grow up with computers and they're extremely computer illiterate and they have a sense of fear. They don't want to try to fix it themselves because they're afraid that they will break it somehow when they Google it. So in that situation, I feel like the best thing to do is really have someone there with them. And I went over that in my last video, so I'm not going to go over it again. But I don't think that it's worth the risk, because a lot of people have been scammed by these quote-unquote tech support companies. And this example I use is not the only scenario of where someone could get mad at you and ruin your life. I was just trying to think of one, but I mean, there are people that get mad over a lot of stuff. And a kid could get mad at their parents, and they could do this. Because you don't need a very high level of computer understanding or anything to do any of this. You only need to be able to read, because there are guides on the internet that will teach you how to do this. Hell, I just taught you how to do it, and I'm trying to make it a precaution. I want to make that very, very clear. You should never, under any circumstances, do any of this stuff. I'm telling it to you so that you know it can be done, so that you can avoid it. This is not a guide. Okay? If you were to do anything I told you how to do in this video, I would judge you very harshly. All that I'm trying to do here is explain to people the dangers of this program and honestly try to convince you to uninstall it and to go a different way. I am giving TeamViewer a 0 out of 10 rating, and I think I've made my reasonings clear. Now, like I said, TeamViewer did try to correct some of these problems in 2016 by adding password protection, but it's so weak. It's ridiculously weak. I don't think it's worth really even mentioning. I guess you have to give them props for doing something, but they only did that. My internet is very bad up here, but they only did that because they had so much feedback from their user base that told them that they were getting into so much trouble and losing so much money and just having all these issues, and I don't feel like they addressed it properly with that. I don't feel like that was a real solution. So I would highly advise anyone that still has TeamViewer on their machine to go ahead and delete it and just get rid of it, and to instead use cloud storage and face-to-face interface. The only time I think that anyone should ever use TeamViewer is if they are on a very secure inner office intranet that there is no conceivable way that it could ever be hacked and you have no personal files on there. And even then, I feel like a lot of companies use better remote access software. The reason that most people use TeamViewer is because it is free. So I don't know how they're still in business, and I don't recommend it. And that's really all I have to say about that, is I couldn't with good conscience recommend it to anyone. So I am Takocos. This has been a software review. If people like it, I will do more of these because this was requested. And I I haven't interacted a lot with software. I haven't done a lot of reviews, but I will do probably more game-based game reviews um, rather than just everyday software, because I don't actually use a lot of it. I use just basic stuff. If you like this video, be sure and give me a like. If you want to see more videos, you can subscribe to my channel. If you do, though, make sure you hit that little bell down there, because for some reason, YouTube no longer just gives you your subscriber feed. You have to hit that little bell and tell them that you actually want it. I'm not sure why they implemented that feature, but that is a thing they're doing now. If you want to share this video on your social media, it would sure help me out a lot, because that'll get new users on the channel. I really appreciate you guys watching, and you have a great night. Bye bye.